It's so crispy. Yo, what is up, everybody? Yeah. How's everybody doing? Oh, that's some good stuff right there. How is everybody's day going so far? How's everybody? Thanks for jumping in early, you guys. I really appreciate you guys showing up so early. You know, as we're getting here started with episode 13. Episode 13. We're just moving along here at Thermaltake Live. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to be doing some fun stuff today. I think today we're going to be, well, today especially, we're going to be working on the little mini helicopter case. I've been wanting to build in this for a bit. I've wanted to do a lot of different things for it. So I'm excited to, you know, finally get to kind of jump into this, go into like, you know, those little details about, you know, a couple of little fun little tips and tricks on how to build something like this if you're really interested in our cool new T200, which is basically the smaller version of the 600 that we've already had out. And this, of course, right here is our snow edition that we have. And we also do make this in a black color as well, which looks real clean. I mean, nice and stealthy. I mean, I really like the look a lot of what this case has to offer when you're looking at just the aesthetic wise and everything. It's something different. And I mean, especially if something where you don't want a ginormous case on your desk and you still want to have something that's going to have a nice little cool look. Something like this is pretty awesome to have, you know, when you're basically going into battle. I mean, look at this thing. You know what I mean? This thing's ready for you. And, you know, it's got a lot of fun little setup stuff in here and everything like that. I mean, you're dealing with a smaller case, so you're going to deal with a little bit more of a compact cooling type of solution with this, but you can still pack in some pretty good performance with this. And that's what we're going to be going over here today, doing a build in our AHT200 Snow. So yeah, how's everybody going today? How is everybody doing? What is up? I'm just making sure I'm getting everything kind of set up here. I got my cool little thermal hat cam going, and we're going to be diving in and giving you guys that first person view as we go through with the build. You guys can see all those little nooks and crannies and everything. And especially here today too, we've upgraded Thermal Steve. Thermal Steve is now got his own little setup going on over there. And yeah, now he can join in the party and everything. Welcome, Thermal Steve. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mike. I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you very much for having me on board. You will regret this day. I promise you that.
Oh, it's going to be good. Thermal Steve 2.0 is live as of today. And we really hope, you know, he can, you know, bring in some more fun to the stream as you guys join both of us here as, you know, we go forward with all these builds and all this fun stuff that we're going to do in here with Thermaltake. Now, a little bit of an announcement that I want to kind of go over before we dive into this. And I'll get started on this here in a minute, but I wanted to say thanks a lot for you guys for being such early supporters for us for the channel. We're going to be doing some stuff. We're going to be kind of changing some things up. So that means that going into next week, we're going to start our streams on Wednesdays. So we're going to be doing our streams on Wednesdays. We'll be updating and, you know, doing the normal posts and announcements and everything as far as the new schedule after the stream, because we got everything kind of set up still for what we've been doing. But yeah, we're going to be updating. We're going to be doing like a workshop Wednesday kind of setup and everything. I think it's going to be great. A little bit during the week, you know, kind of right in the middle, you know, good old hump day. And we'll have a lot of fun with that. It'll give us, you know, we're going to be probably we're going to extend the streams likely instead of kind of limiting our time. So that way we can get what we want to do done and just give you guys all in like a one-shot thing versus like a two-parter thing and see how it goes. See what kind of feedback you guys get back. We're going to be doing some more stuff here as well with the thermal hat cam. So giving you guys that first person view as well for all the new systems that we have going in here. And then with all that being said, you know, coming in, happy holidays, guys. We're almost there. Month 12 as of today. We're in the last month of 2020. Give yourselves a round of applause. Oh man, we're finally there. We're finally there. But yeah, we're going to be shifting to Wednesdays. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be taking a little break during the holidays and everything as we got some stuff set up here, you know, so we can enjoy our time with our families, as well as being able to get some stuff ready for some new product stuff that we're going to be doing. We're going to have some special events coming up here really soon, going into the new year. And I can't talk about too much of it right now, but yeah, definitely something to look forward to. You guys stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. And of course, you know, myself, Thermal Mike, yeah, I'm going to be right there front and center with a lot of that stuff and what we got going on. So yeah, look forward to that. And a lot of the other things, you know, we're going to be pumping out here for different cases. You guys like the AHT200? That's awesome. You guys want to see something else we haven't covered in the channel? Drop it in the chat. Let us know. We'll be happy to try to be able to kind of pick apart each individual case that maybe you guys might be looking at. I've been getting some feedback from people. They wanted something small, you know, more of a compact thing. So I thought the HT200 was something because I've wanted to build in it. But another one that I'm also looking at is our Core P1. We did the Core P3 last week, and we had a lot of fun with that, doing the cut reservoir and, you know, doing some hard tube work with that and giving the thermal hat cam, you know, a nice test run. And just to kind of see how it goes, we're going to be trying to fine tune that a little bit here better for you here with this particular one. But yeah, Core P1 definitely on the list for something that I want to do. mini ITX, small. It's so cool. I love that case. And being able to do either AIO or a small DIY LCS with like a 240 radiator, because that's pretty much the max in that one. It'd be a lot of fun for something like that. But, similar with the T200, I mean, at the same time, this is micro ATX. So this is kind of a step above like a Core P1 where it's mini ITX. It's a little bit smaller, as far as the footprint goes. But this thing is just, I love the little layout for the way this goes. It is a micro ATX case. So with that, it does support micro ATX boards. And I got a really fun board over here I want to show you guys too as we go forward, and throwing this in with the install and everything.
But to touch up on something real quick, Mike, I think something that should be said in regards to us changing our schedules, moving over to Wednesdays now. I think the most important aspect of everything is the fact that we're no longer limited on streams, so we'll actually be able to hang out more with you guys, interact more with you. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments, or you guys want to talk to us, hang out, get to know Mike or myself. We have more time to spend with you guys, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, me too. And I mean, same thing as well. I mean, our Discord channel's been definitely growing every day. We've been getting a lot of people in there, jumping in, throwing some conversations. We've been talking about, the new RTX 30, the RTX 3060 Ti, another one from NVIDIA coming out. That bad boy comes out tomorrow. We were talking about that this morning, with a lot of stuff going on as far as, what cards are going to fit in what chassis from the new options that are available if you're lucky enough to grab one, right? And today we also have a special guest. I have an RTX 3070 over here that we'll be throwing in. And it's one of Gigabyte's new Vision cards in that all white look and everything. I think it's going to look real nice in here with the case, as well as our TH240 AIO Snow Edition cooler. That guy's going to be jumping in there too. So we're going to go with a nice clean white. It's December. Winter is coming. You guys want a nice icy build for the holidays, or you're just kind of looking to do a nice clean black and white build. Either way you want to flip-flop it with the contrasting colors. You got a lot of nice little fun little options there here from Thermaltake, and we got some fun stuff that we want to show you. So yeah, we're going to get started here in just a bit. Do you guys have any particular questions in regards to, say for example, like the case or any of the other stuff? Definitely let us know here throughout our stream here today. And we also are started setting up some stuff. So if you guys are interested in what we're going to be working with and you want to know more about it, we are now setting up some custom Amazon links, so you guys can basically go straight to Amazon and see some of the top products that we are building in today, so you can learn more about the individual product. If there's something you'd like to know, or you can ask us here on the stream. But definitely if you want to check availability, pricing and stuff like that, you like something here on the stream and you want to grab it, you can just go right there. We got a new command up and everything. I think Steve's going to drop that in there. I think if you do command parts or Amazon, we got some fun stuff in there. That way you guys can just go to that link and be able to see all the stuff, that we're actually building in. So, try to help you guys out with those questions and, make it a little bit easier for you as far as letting you know what we're working with and everything. So yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff with that. Hold on. I just unplugged my headset.
And we chalked that up to faults on the stream at number 1. How many do we have throughout the stream?
All right.
Let's find out.
We should get one of those, things on the board back there. Every time a camera drops out, or like a stream accident, we should set something up for that. That's gonna be fun. That'd be so funny. How many days has it been since something on the stream went awry? In the back of there, it says 0. Rip. No. Hopefully everything goes good. Hopefully everything goes good. Again, thank you guys for jumping in here today on the stream. We're going to be getting some music going. We're going to be sitting back talking about our T200 and doing a build. So I hope you guys enjoy that as we go forward with that. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and let's get started here. Let's go ahead and start. Thanks again to you guys for you guys that threw a follow here today on the stream. So thanks so much. Welcome. Thermaltake Live. So today we are building in the T200 Snow, and I have one right here that you guys can take a look at as far as the case. Now, again, as I was mentioning earlier, this is a micro ATX form factor chassis. So with that, you are, the motherboard specific size is based on, the smaller footprint of this style case, to be able to get a motherboard in here for this particular size. you know, there's certain things that you have to do. And then, like, say, for example, if you are looking for something larger, we do make this in the T600, which is huge helicopter. And we also have that available too. So you can check that out. And that's available also in both black and white colors for the particular case. But today we're just working with the T200, the little mini helicopter. And I've been super excited to be able to get into building with this. And yeah, so with the case, we have some nice, I love these tempered glass doors that are on here. And the thing that I like about these is it's just, you know, it's a nice swing open door. So that I got a nice tempered glass swing open door with this. It's a very open frame style type of case. There's a lot of openings with this. There's really not a lot of like air trap or stuff like that where you got to deal with it and everything. So that way you can at least get as much airflow as possible out of something that's going to be in a micro ATX chassis. But yeah, the wings or the windows, whatever you'd like to call them, I like how they swing. I mean, this is basically, you know, this is probably like a 120, 130 radius. So it gives you a nice swing of it. And then the thing that I love about it is it just lifts up and off so that I can be able to take this panel, you know, put this to this side so nothing's going to happen with it. It comes with a nice plastic on it and everything. So that way, you know, nothing goes wrong with the glass and for, you know, it's for what it is. And I just kind of slides right off. And then I can put that aside as I go forward with my build. And we'll be breaking down the case and kind of showing you how all the panels come off to kind of give you a nice head start if you're planning to build in this case, you know, hopefully help you guys out and, you know, get some stuff going with this. So first and foremost thing I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take these off and we'll go ahead and we'll pop these guys out. Now these guys, there's these big little thumb screws here. Let me go ahead. See, there we go. So I got my little thermal cam on here so you guys can see a little bit closer. But yeah, these are some pretty big little thumb screws if you guys can see. Check these guys out. And then these guys go right in here on the case. So then this just kind of secures to this tab and it just kind of screws in like that and it locks it. There's nice little rubber washers on both sides, which I really like because then you're not dealing with like metal on glass, you know, because it's not going to rattle and everything if it did. But yeah, real convenient, comes off. Lifts up and off, be able to take the glass panels off, and then, you know, you put those bad boys aside. You can sit here and you can look at your beautiful case. One thing, a nice little tip that I always like to do is if you're taking the side panels off, if it's just a traditional case, you're looking at the screws and everything, I just like to put them right back in here. I don't have to worry about where'd they go and everything. And then at the same time with that, I can take my glass panels here and just get these guys out of the way. Yeah, so we're kind of getting the case broken down here a little bit. We got our windows off and then we got a lot of, you know, nice little room with that. But I do like, you know, it is exposed on both sides. So a lot of things that, you know, kind of came up was when, you know, you're looking at this case and you go, man, there's really not a lot of places to hide the cables. But one thing, you know, as we were diving into the case that we noticed was that you have this nice section here with the top panel. So a lot of the cable management that goes up here, you can utilize a lot of this space up here on the inside and then up here where the fans are going to go. And then that's going to give you a little bit more room to kind of get those cables. So you can kind of do a nice little run down the side. We got cool little, you know, cable management guys right here. I really like these little cutout holes that we did. We have them down here on the side with pass-throughs. If you can kind of, hopefully you guys can kind of see that. But we got these nice little cutouts for pass-through stuff for like fan cables and so on. And then these things are great for just like, you know, like little simple zip tie things to get those guys in there. Now with that, we also have storage on this one side. So it is an optional thing. I think a lot of people are going to be using like a, you know, an M.2 drive, and they're going to be putting that M.2 drive, you know, on the motherboard and being able to have it in there. But with that, you also get, I mean, I'm actually impressed with how many SSD options. So you get 3 SSD options that would go through here on the back of it. And then furthermore, there is like a separate, like this whole like a panel. Hold on. Let me get my handy screwdriver and not run my cables over. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. But okay, so the SSD trays, I think if these guys are actually on here pretty tight. Most of the times, like the first time these guys go on, they're a little bit tighter because of the coating and everything. But like once you like take them on and off a couple times, it's not too bad. So then these guys are removable. And then as you see with these being removable, there's also options for HDDs in the back. But there is one concern with that, with the HDDs that are on the back, because of the fact that you have the glass panel and the glass panel is going to go there. There is a certain thickness to the drive. So if you're using like a really high capacity drive where you're talking like 6 terabytes up, I think it's like 8 terabytes, 10 terabyte, those drives get a lot thicker. So you want to make sure you reference, you know, that type of clearance that you'd have if you're going to put like a large HDD in a case like this. I'm almost going to say most of the time not. Most people are going to do an SSD and an M.2 or just an M.2 because it's just kind of, you know, the thing and everything. But I do like the fact that you have the options to be able to kind of do both here. Because with this, you know, as far as I'm looking at it, I have an option to be able to put these SSD trays in here. I can also take the actual tray itself off, which I'll just kind of show you. So if you take this one screw out of the back, then you have this kind of just lifts up and off. And then I can just be able to, you know, kind of take this panel off. I want to take this panel off, be able to do my SSDs, you know, get these guys mounted up on here. I can do all this separately and then be able to put it all back, you know, into the case at one time, or I can just completely remove it and give it a little bit more of like a cleaner look with it. I think also, you know, it doesn't look too bad with the panel on, even with just leaving the SSDs, because then you got kind of like a nice little cover plate with it. But I will note, for at least on my side, as far as the way I do with my cable management, this is a pretty thin little gap right here. So you're not going to be looking to be able to put cables back behind there and really kind of hide stuff. It doesn't have that kind of a purpose like you would think, like with like a Core P3, where that back panel is going to have, you know, kind of like a little pocket to kind of, you know, put controllers and stuff like that and tuck those back up in there. But it is removable. It's a cool little feature. Gives you some more options for something here on the back of the case. We're just going to go ahead and put these guys back in for now. But I did want to show you guys that you have this nice little, you know, this nice little option here with these. Because everybody needs storage, right? But I mean, like, the drive capacities are getting real convenient, I would say. You know, M.2 performance and storage is really booming. It's looking really good.
I hope so, given that, you know, we have like 150 gigabyte games now.
I know, right? Thanks, Call of Duty. Hey, I was impressed, though, that Cold War was definitely not even half of what, well, Modern Warfare was. That was kind of cool.
It's true, but I also am not okay with the fact that I can't play a game without crashing or having, you know, bugs or. Thanks, Call of Duty.
You know, you get those kind of scenarios and everything with that. I mean, the same thing too. Like, was it? We were just talking. I think it was like yesterday. Like Cyberpunk, it's like 70 gigs. So I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, so we have a storage option there, and guess what? There's even more. So these little winged guys are these little things that you see here, like right here in the front and everything. Let me see. These little guys pop off just like that. I don't know if you guys, there's little push tabs in here. See these little push tabs? So it's just basically a pop on, pop off kind of scenario. And then with these, as far as like how these are, there is also additional SSD mounts behind both of these. So if the 3 in the back were not enough, or on the, you know, on this back side panel right here, if these were not enough, we have other options for other SSDs to be able to mount here on the inside. And then as they mount on the inside, then you can run the cables back through in here, down and through there. So it is just kind of like another like little like stealthy little hide spot. But I like how we didn't just make it just an aesthetic. It wasn't just like, you know, a cool little piece of plastic that looked like a turbo. It actually had a purpose. And I thought that was really cool that we just did like a little detail like that to, you know, to like add these things on here. And then these things just kind of just pop on and off just like that. Really cool too for when, you know, like say you want to do some modding with this, you want to change the color. A lot of this case breaks down. I mean, when you look at like what we have on the website, you look at this, you know, like this, the specs and everything of the case, a lot of this stuff does come apart. A lot of these screws down in here are screws. They're not like taps, for example. I mean, most of them you're going to see are just going to be like, you know, just a regular Phillips in through here a lot of with this. And then same here with like the top of the case. So you got 4 thumb screws, 2 on each side. So we take both of these guys off here. We'll spin her around.
The beauty of modular cases, man. It's awesome.
Oops, I dropped one. You guys can help me.
That one to.
You guys can help me find it. Okay.
By the way, question from the stream in regards to the little popping side vents. Does the AHT600 do that as well?
Yes, it does. We have that option in there too. It should be listed in our website under the design section, and you can see that kind of breakdown. I think it's also mentioned in the specs too, where it shows like the list for like the storage, and you can take a look at that and it'll break down everything for like the ones that are in the back or what you would mount, and then those things would be accounted for too. I'm not sure exactly what they do call it though. I will have to tell you that.
Yeah, I love more storage options. I'm all for that.
Oh, I know. And then you have to buy the hard drives. That's the fun part. Get that maximum storage. So once you take off the 4 screws, then this basically just kind of, I lift the back side up first, because this actually goes around, this part right here actually goes around the IO panel. Now with the IO panel and everything, you're going to be looking at, see what you see right here? So you're going to be looking at 2 USB 3.0s with a Type C. You get your standard audio connections, and then you have your hard drive light and your fun little reset button that you guys use so much. So you can see that. And then there's a cool little power button that's right in here with that too. But then, yeah, this comes all off, and then there's like a little lip right here on the side. So when you go to put the panel back on the front, you kind of just drop it back down right where you did before. So as you just kind of see how I kind of line this up. You just want to line that panel up just like that, and then it just drops down just like that. So it's good, nice and clean. And then you can just kind of check, make sure, you know, the holes lined up so that you got it seated just right. So go ahead and we'll take that guy off. So then that's going to expose the top, and then that's going to give us access to mount our fans. Now, first thing I want to mention too here is with this particular case, because of the size and the way the motherboard, these right here are the standoffs. Can you guys see? So these standoffs that are right here are really close to that top edge. So there is no option for a radiator in the top. You're only looking at an option for a radiator in the front, and it's going to support a 240 or 280 radiator. I would not say DIY LCS is simple in here, but I definitely see some options with it. But AIO is definitely, you know, a nice solid option as far as where the space of where the AIO is going to mount, and then that cable travel for where the pump's going to go for where the CPU is getting mounted, you know, with the motherboard. So now that we've gotten the back or the top panel off, we can do the same thing here. I better keep following what I tell you guys, right? Put the screws back in. Don't want to lose them. Sometimes you can have a lot, sometimes not. It just kind of depends, but this makes it easy. Especially when I'm live streaming and I'm trying to make sure everything's here. All right, now that we've done that, that's basically kind of like a hands-free or tools-free thing. We're gonna have to grab a screwdriver here to do something further, which is going to be taking off our, what I believe we nicknamed this, the welding helmet. Was that what we called it, Steve?
The welding helmet.
I think this thing works real good as, you know, welding. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't work well for welding. Don't use it for welding. But it is a really cool little cockpit. And I had to say that. I wanted to say that. So there's 3 screws on both sides. And we'll go ahead and we'll take these guys off. That way I can show you guys the inner workings. Actually, this is going to allow us to get to our radiator bracket, so we can pull our radiator bracket out of the case and then be able to mount our fans and our AIO without having to do it inside the case, where you'd, you know, maybe feel a little cramped having to just kind of line everything up and do it in here with this type of a shape or style of case. So, and then I think there's also, just want to double check. See, then these are the screws for the IO panel. So you see these guys. So these are the 2 screws for the IO panel. You can take the whole IO panel out. It is a separate module from the rest of the case, where this is the frame. And then this right here is just our little front piece. Now with this part, it's also got the same kind of thing. So I'm going to kind of grab it right here on the top, and I'm just going to kind of pop it up and off. And the idea with that is when you look inside our cool little welding helmet, you can see this is our AHT200 view. Right here, you see this? I feel like I'm just, you know, I'm like in the It's pretty cool. But you can see all these little fun little things that they're not, there's a couple push clamps in here, but not too many, which I like, because it's not like you have to like rip it off and everything like that. But it does give it like a nice little snug fit. And then the 6 screws, the 3 on each side, you know, secure it in, so you don't got to worry about it going nowhere. Okay. So then this kind of opens up a lot more of the front. I just want to put these guys back in here. These are small little screw guys right here, but they serve their purpose. And this will kind of open and expose the front part of the chassis. And then see, the thing that I like about this is pretty much with the rest of the frame, it's all one piece. There are rivets here in the top for this part, but it is all kind of breaking down to just like the frame and everything, where all the other individual like panels and pieces and everything all just kind of come off separately. A lot of the front, like this whole front little area right here, these guys pop off. This guy can come out, and you basically have a nice little sled here down on the bottom. You can even take these little like perforated wing guys right here. This thing also will come off and take off the side, and then you're basically kind of just stuck with these two pieces, which is the top major frame, the front frame part that just connects down here into the bottom. All right.
Like, interesting question. What do you think? There's how would you describe the size difference between the AHT200 and the AHT600?
Okay, that's a great question. That's a great question. It is pretty big. I know we've shared some photos of like the 6 next to the 2 and kind of given like a little bit of a comparison, but when you're looking at something like this, say this is the 200 and where it sits, the 600 is probably about here. It being a full tower case, you're going to probably add, I'm going to say it's probably about 4 inches taller. I mean, you could go check the specifications list that we have on our website, and it should have the dimensions of the case, so you can kind of get like a general idea of how much longer and taller it is. I would say width-wise, it's a little bit wider, but I wouldn't say the width is going to be a big of a difference as the length and the height of the case. But yeah, I mean, as far as if you would have this, sitting on your table, and you're going to want a game on something like this, and you'd have your system right here on your table, you get still a good space, bit of room. It's not something where you'd feel like this is so big you'd have to put it on the floor or get like a special cabinet to put it next to your desk so you can still have your monitor space here and everything. So it's just kind of a give and take as far as like, the size of space that you have for where the system's going to go. And then of course the components that you want to put in here. I mean, if you're going to be wanting to do like some real high-end liquid cooling, you might want to take a look at the 600. But if you're doing like a standard AIO build, or not even a standard, but a high-end AIO build, I mean, a good 240, 280 will do a good job in here for the CPU to do some cooling. And then I'll show you guys also a little bit about your spacing that you have for the graphics card, because I know that's a big deal right now with a lot of these newer 30 series cards and even the AMD 6000 series cards. Those are some big cards, and we've done a lot of test fitting with this. I mean, you guys saw, well, hopefully you saw, we did an earlier episode with the AH390, which was basically the AH200 black. And then it was from LCGS, and it had a 3090 in there. So a 3090 fits in here. 3080 fits in here. It's close with the radiator in the front, but it fits and it ships.
An interesting question for you. And I actually know this myself. Desla over on Discord asks, does that welding helmet have any threaded inserts for something like putting a USB display in there?
Let's take a little bit closer look. So you're going to be looking at the inside of this. Now, I know that these tempered glass, because this isn't plastic, these are tempered glass, which I love, because this isn't going to scratch and look ugly and stupid in like a couple of months, right? This will be something nice and clean, and you're not going to really have to worry about it. But there is double-sided tape that goes around this area, and taking like a heat gun just to kind of heat it up a little bit, you can get these panels off, so you can take the glass out if you wanted to paint it, hydro dip it, do a lot of fun things, with the whole case, and you don't want to, have to worry about taping off the glass, because that's kind of a pain. So heat gun, pop this off, double-sided tape, we'll take these panels off, and then when you look on the inside here, this is basically all one piece of plastic. Kind of see? So then if you wanted to basically, what was what was he asking?
I'll ask again.
Sorry.
So basically, are there any threaded inserts on there where you could mount like a USB screen, like a USB display?
Okay. So yeah, I was thinking about how I was going to answer that, but look at the inside and look at it. I would say the thing is going to be the screen size as far as you know, how big of a screen you're going to be able to put in here. But you would have to consider these two are going to be the mounting points for it. But I would say it wouldn't matter because of the fact that you have the 3 screws on both sides. You could cut all these flat off and not have to worry about any of those. I mean, it would make the panel, I mean, maybe leave the bottom 2. I'd maybe leave these bottom 2 right here. So that way it gives us support on the bottom. So the bottom's not kind of, you know, loose as far as where it is, because the back's going to have the screws, right? And then that way you can use that layout, use these as like an anchor to kind of rest it on, and maybe be able to kind of double-sided tape to put like a monitor in there, because you got those black borders that would give you a nice clean edge on something like that. I mean, just the same, if you could find something in that kind of a shape and almost make it, you know what I mean? Like look like you would have, like this would be a screen, and then you can make the screen look like it's doing something, flying, or putting a video or something like that on there, or, you know, doing your normal stats and everything. I think it'd look really sick if you did like that black screen with like that, the green text and everything, almost like Matrixy, and you had something like that kind of doing like a cool little OSD for you, using a lot of those softwares out there for like the monitoring stuff with those little USB screens. That stuff's really cool to be able to add a little aesthetic to that. I mean, the other thing too with this is that you also have these little holes right here so that you can do maybe some type of modding to use these as like anchor points to kind of put something in here. I know a lot of people I've talked to, like, you know, they want to put like, you know, a figure in there, you know, whatever it might be, like a stormtrooper to Iron Man to your favorite TT dude. You know, a lot of fun things could fit like right in here, and it's got like a nice little neat little spot for it. I almost wished we were kind of joking that it had like a little ledge right here, like a little perch, so you could kind of just set something on there and everything. But I mean, something like that could easily be made and modded to be able to do something, you know, kind of fun with that. But yeah, so that's taken off this part. So we got the top, the front. We pulled both of those off, so we got that over there. We popped the sides off, but we'll just leave them on for now. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is take out our radiator bracket. So you guys can see I have our radiator bracket. It's a modular bracket, which I love, because again, you don't have to go in and install it inside the case. And then I got these 2 wonderful screws here on the top. And this is why you have to take off the front panel, or the top little cockpit action. And then that's going to loosen up this part. So then this bracket that's inside is going to be loose. And then let me see if I can give you guys a good enough view with this. As you look down in here, let me see how the bracket goes back and forth. So the bracket's going to move back and forth like this because there's going to be little tabs on the bottom. So the tabs on the bottom are going to help you. You just got to get, you know, take your AIO panel cables, get these guys, tell them to go up here, they're out of your way for a little bit. And then this bracket is just going to kind of fall backwards. So you're going to want to take this out before you kind of put anything else in. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense anyways, right? But look down in here and you can kind of see how there's these little, make sure you guys can see it. See, there's these 2 little tab brackets that are going to be down here. This thing's going to go forward, lift my cables up. This thing's going to come up and off. And then I can take this out of the case. And then now I can mount my fans and my AIO, because with this particular setup, I'm going to have the fans on one side and the AIO on the other side. I'm going to be sandwiching them together. And just make sure you, once you take it out, you know, you pay attention to where the tabs are. So you put the AIO on the right side, because you don't want to do this twice. Come on, guys. Oh, and then I guess we'll just put these back in here so that way I know these are the ones for this one. But yeah, no, I like how this bracket is removable, and then it just gives me, you know, I got a nice open space to be able to mount all that stuff, and then that whole thing can go in one shot. You know, I can do my cables for my fans and have that all kind of ready, AIO, you know, and all that kind of stuff ready. But one thing I would mention with that and how I just did this process is do the AIO first, put the fans and the AIO on this, and get this bracket back in here before you put the motherboard in. Probably before you even put the power supply in. I mean, you can do it a bunch of different ways, but you don't want to accidentally use this and kind of hit something, you know what I mean? You know, damage a component or something like that. So just try to be safe. And, you know, I'm just trying to give you some you know, helpful advice with building in this and stuff like that. And then as far as, you know, how this is going to go back in here, just, you know, take a note of how the tabs go. So these tabs are going to drop down in here this way, as you can see. So the tabs are going to be like this. on the bracket. And then with those tabs, how it's going to drop in, and then it's going to basically swing back up, and then just watch your IO cables here as we get it past it. It's hitting the screw. Of course, you'd want to take that out and not do like what I just did. But you guys get the idea, right? You guys get the idea as far as the convenience of that and why it matters. So
Modularity is awesome.
modularity is convenient. Use it to your advantage. So it kind of opens up a lot inside the case with it here. And then, of course, you have your expansion slots on the back. And then this is basically our bracket for the power supply. So then the bracket for the power supply as well, take those two screws off. This guy comes out the back, so you can kind of take this off. And again, another reason why I like the fact that you can basically, you could take this off, take the sides off, you can strip it down. Like if you wanted to do like a cool paint job, this case is a real nice case for painting, in my opinion, with the way the layout is and stuff. I mean, being able to come in here and do like a crazy color with it, or if you wanted to even chrome the whole thing, it's pretty friendly with that. All this is all metal, all inside. The only plastic panels you're really dealing with is our welding helmet that we have here, and the little side guys, these little guys right here and everything like that. They are the only thing plastic on this case besides the IO little panel box that's up in here. But again, that's something you would likely remove and or leave black. I mean, I guess you could paint it too, because I mean, you can pull all the connections out, and you could do something like that if you want to do like a two-tone color. I've done it before. It came out pretty good. But yeah, kind of strip that all down, baby. There we go. Kind of get a little bit of dirt in there from when I was doing my little test fits and everything. Kind of clean that stuff out. But then I have my bracket here for my power supply. So now that we got the case pretty much broken down, I mean, there's really not too much to it, which is great. Makes it very convenient. I mean, when you're dealing with something like this, it's just an open type of area where, put stuff in and you can just get to building. So let me move some of these panels out of the way because I don't want to get them scratched.
Hey, Mike, I actually have an interesting question for you.
Oh, what is up? Sorry for moving so fast.
No problem. I'm a huge fan of mounting my graphics card vertically. Vertically, I've seen the way. It's glorious.
Yep.
I can't go back. What options does the AHT series offer me for vertical mounting?
Well, with the T series here, with the way this particular layout is, with the T200, you don't have a vertical option with this. I wish you did. It would be pretty cool, but at the same time, with something like this, if I did want to go vertical with it, I would need a little bit more space, and they would have had to have redesigned the bracket a little bit different. But again, I mean, we have a lot of cases that have vertical options to it, and it's nice to see cases that, give more of a traditional thing, because I know a lot of people tell us that a lot of vertical stuff, it's like, but we've been doing that rotatable bracket thing. We just give you both options, and I've liked how we've done that on a lot of our products. But for this one, it's more traditional. I might not be 100% right, but I'm sure I think the 600 is the same way. I guess you guys could double check. Steve could check on that for you. He could double check on that. I'm not 100% sure just at the moment, but he's probably all over it. And I'm trying to remember. Okay, so these were for the top part for the bracket. So let's go ahead. Let's get over here on what we got. So we have our bracket for our power supply, and we have, of course, our power supply. So with that, and then, say if you're dealing with either a fully modular, non-modular, or something in between, just looking at a bracket, I mean, it's just a bracket, right? Nothing special, but you do want to, again, take note as far as how that bracket mounts in here. You can see kind of clips in on the bottom, just like that. And then we just take this off. We understand that this is the back side to that. We're going to line up our power supply with this and just kind of get this part set in here. And then you'll see that with this, there is basically a layout for different hole patterns. And then those different hole patterns are going to be determined as far as which way if you're going to have the fan facing up or you're going to have the fan facing down. That's why there's two sets of holes. So for this one, we'll just go with the huge. Let me just try and. Oh, you know what? We should get some music going. Hold on. Let me see. Let me come over here. We got some PC build. We got some music jamming up in this. I almost forgot. You guys should have yelled at me.
Yell at you?
Steve could. We could blame Steve for this.
Oh, well then.
We love you, Steve. How's that? Is that good? All right. Sit back and relax as we build with the T200. Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. I like how it has this little lip right here on this, so that way you can kind of get, you know, an idea like where the bass goes. I think that's like 3.
At 3.
Okay, I forgot. I should have got a fully modular power supply for this, but it's okay. Just trying to make sure I get my power pack here going okay.
Brain Tech Society is asking us questions for Facebook group. This is going to be unrelated, but let's see if you can figure this one out.
Okay.
We're asking for the thread of the screw for the Pacific CL480. Is it M3 by 30 millimeters?
The CL480 radiator. You want to know what the screw size is for mounting into the thread into the rad itself? That was the question, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think it was. Oh man, that's a fun little statistic or specification.
Asking the tough.
That's a good question. No, I know it, but I forgot it. I'm just trying to remember what it is to be exact. I'll try to see if I can figure it out, and I'm gonna let you know. I'm trying to. It doesn't say. I swear I thought it says. If you look on the manual, the manual online on the website, it should have that value for the screws there. Should. Maybe it doesn't. For the rad, maybe we might have put it, because I know the screw size has changed a little bit as far as the different ones that we had, but yeah, no, I don't remember that off the top of my head. This bracket is a little tight, a little snug. Oh no, I think it's because this part, the way the lip is on this one for this particular. And then here we go. You guys have a lot of fun with this, right? When you drop a screw and you're trying to find it. And then of course I'm trying to not run over everything just the same. Let me see, did I have?
It's 5.
What's up?
Is it 5?
No, that was technically 4. I was just trying to recover.
Ooh.
You know, no man left behind, right? Well, we'll get him later. Because I'm just, you know, hoping I have another one in here, which I should. Oh, that reminds me. Where'd it go? Where'd I end up putting it? Yeah, I got some more goodies to get out. There is this thing, this magical thing. It's called an accessory box. And it comes with a case. How about that? And guess what's in there?
Don't say.
Guess what's in there, guys? Some screws. That's cool. You get a little manual, waterproof manual. Let me look at that. There we go. Here, let's learn together how to build the system. Okay, page 1. See, this is cool. We get the chassis dimensions and everything in here with this. That's pretty good. But like, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, for the other stuff, see how like it's going to show the screw. And then it's gonna spell screw wrong here, which you can laugh at us all you want because we didn't spell screw right. And it says number 6 by 32 by 6 mil. So a lot of times we should put this kind of info in the manuals. It might not be like the little pamphlet that's on, like, you know, that comes like in the rad box with it. But if you look online, it should have that value. Maybe I'm just making all of this up and Steve's gonna own me here when he still can't find it.
Yes.
Don't lose the screws. You have to have at least one of them. How could you lose them all? Well, see, the thing is, I got a bunch over there. I don't have the little size thing. I'd have to go to Home Depot. You know, you have to go to Home Depot and you have to put the screw in the little thing, trying to figure out what it is and if it's coarse thread, fine thread, what size. Those are fun times, right? Those are fun times going to Home Depot, trying to hunt down new screws to match what you want, or you want them black, or you want them chrome, or you want whatever it didn't come in because you want it different.
I did that for a drawer a couple months back, and it was an experience.
Yeah, you get those things. We got some nice tweezers here. Then of course there's they throw in these little vibration pad things for the SSDs. And of course we have our fun little speaker in here. This is your free sound card. You're welcome.
Nice.
Free sound card. I just thought about that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a free sound card, you know? You didn't have one. You don't need drivers for it either. It's plug and play. All right. 2 hours later, we have the power supply mounted to the bracket. Look at that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off, because it is semi-modular, so I can at least pull a couple of these cables out for now and slap those guys down there on the ground. But then I like this. Look at this. Look at this. Just take these, throw them in over the top, slide it down around. Then we can go in here and we can get our power supply set up. Oh. And see, like I was saying, you know what I mean? Like, look, if you put the power in first and you have the power supply in here, I mean, minus having to deal with, the cables and such. But if I put that in there, I want to bring my bracket in, because it's going to have the AIO and everything on there. Space is a little tight. So what I would do is just get the power supply on the bracket and just kind of put it to the side, because it's pretty much just 2 screws and it's in. We'll just set him over there so he's out of the way. And then we got our, no, these were, see, I'm losing my screws already. So then these were the ones for this thing, I think. No, it was the other ones. These are the ones for that, because it's a thicker bracket. And then these are the 2 that go for the top of the rad for this guy. Okay. So yeah, accessory packs, got all the screws that you're gonna need inside the box. Don't have to worry about too much of that. We got some tough ram here that we're gonna be using momentarily. But let's take a look at our cooler. So got some thermal paste. I mean, we are Thermaltake. We got to have the thermal paste. So I have right here, and what we're going to be using today is this is our TH240 Snow Edition cooler. Check this out, guys. Brand new AIO from Thermaltake. We make this in a 360 as well, but I thought the 240 in the Snow Edition was going to fit perfect inside the case for this. So this comes with our pure ARGB fans, and they come in white. And they come right in here with that. And then to add in for the other 2 fans I'm going to put in the top, I opted for going with our new Pure Duo fans, which I got right over here. And then this is basically the same fan. The only difference is it has 2 ARGB rings inside instead of 1, which is what you get with the AIO by itself. But at the moment, we don't sell these particular white fans independently or individually. So these fans you would get like on the case. If you look at some of our other chassis that we sell, like say like our View 51, those already come with like an ARGB, like the 200 mil fans in the front and stuff like that, and it can kind of give you a nice little combo match if you get the right products, especially if you get the ARGB edition, and it all just kind of makes sense with everything just kind of syncing up with the motherboard, which is ideally what we'll do with this one, but with what a lot of people will do. So this is a 240 AIO. This is a newer one from Thermaltake. This is our newer guy, and you can see this is a different design than what we've done. It's got a nice copper cold plate on this. There is no pre-paste done, so you will have to apply your own thermal paste. Just take note of that. But I do like how we got these nice white braided sleeves on here with a nice white radiator. I've missed white radiators. I want us to do more. I really do. I need you guys to help us with the feedbacks. Let them know. Those white radiators, these are nice. I want DIY ones. We had them before, and I was using them like crazy on our Core P3 white or the snow edition, and it was a lot of fun getting that nice clean whited. Oh man, it was so good. You know, just kind of break it up from like a black radiator, but yeah, it's a specialty thing, you know.
But I personally love this direction, like white fan cables, white rad, like it. I love it. I want us to do more of this. It's awesome.
Yeah, you know, we should do more of this. Maybe we'll do some more in a couple of weeks. All right. So we have our AIO, you know, as far as the radiator, the fans for the radiator, and a bracket. So what we're going to do is we're just going to remember, of course, which way the bracket went in. So the bracket's going to have the little tabs. The little tabs are going to go towards the front of this. Some of this stuff. Let me clear some space. Okay, so then I'm gonna have this right here with this bracket. Make sure you guys can see this, okay? Okay, so then here's my bracket. This is gonna be going in the case just like this. We're gonna be mounting our fans to the front of it. So that means the AIO is gonna go here. So that way we have the pump going that way, you know, going towards, you know, where, you know, the CPU is going to go. And then we have, you know, a nice little slotted system right here with this. And with that, with it mounting in the front, we're going to want to have the tank as high as possible, or at least that's usually what I do. So then we're going to have like this, and then we're going to be putting our fans here on the other side. Now what I'm going to do to make this easier is I'm just going to kind of hang the pump off the end of the table like that. Make sure I'm not putting this on upside down. Just kind of line this up so that I got this level, and then the pump can hang so I can get this to lay flat. And then now I'm going to look at my fans. So my fans, this is going to be the bottom. This is going to be the top. And then how I want to orientate my fans as far as how my cables are going to go. So everything else that I'm going to do is going to be the same. So that I'm going to put these, I'm going to put the fan. So if I have the fan like that, so you'd have the fan going through the front like this. And then I want the other cable to do the same thing. So any of the little ARGB animations I do follow the same ring pattern, because it's going to be at the same starting point. You got me? As far as how the cables go, just kind of use this as like a bearing. So that way your animations are the same. But yeah, this is fitted for both 240 and 280. That's why you'll see two different slots on here. And then there's even little cable pass-throughs here for your fans. Get some of these guys started so our bracket stops going everywhere. But then this really helps. I like this because I can just do this off the case. You know, I'm not doing this in the case or having to get like a shorty screwdriver because I don't have the space in the front. It's just a nice little option, you know, it's a convenience. Let me just get this guy going in here. How's that angle? Is that good? Can you guys see okay? Just liking this? And we can get those two on there. Then we have our cables. As far as what we're gonna do with that. Now we need the rest of our cables, or the cables. We need the rest of our screws, so I need to get my AIO kit, which I have right here. So this is This is basically our AIO kit that comes, as far as the accessory pack that comes with the AIO. Now, this is going to have the necessary brackets in here for both Intel and AMD. So ideally, I'll just kind of dump all this out. You get so this is like the little, it's like a little protector thing that you would put on the back to like secure the back plate and everything. But I'm not going to use that today because I want to be able to get it back off very easily and not have to worry about it too much. And then we have right here a universal bracket. So this is going to be something where you'd be looking at both AMD and Intel on the bracket as far as which, fitment that you're going to use with that. And then this right here is our AM4 bracket. And then I'll show you guys how this slides on and installs too to help you guys out and get you guys going faster with the TH240 cooler, or our new TH series. And just kind of finish up our last 4 screws on our 2 fans. Now, the one thing I didn't check was like how far up I put these guys, but it's so much fun. I'm getting used to this hat cam. I'm trying my best. I really hope you guys are liking this. So that way I can kind of lay out. I got my fans right here as far as what that's going on with my AIO on the other side. Now, a lot of that time, people are going to want to maybe, you have an option to do push-pull. And I would say a push-pull option is definitely there. You just want to make sure that you have that clearance for that beefy graphics card you're going to put inside. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'll show you. When we get more than just like 2 little things done. Right, Steve? Tell me to hurry. Tell me I'm taking too long, Steve. Tell me.
You're taking too long. Hurry up. That actually one of our comments watching from live from Moscow.
Nice. Welcome.
1 a.m. there.
1 a.m. Nice, dude. I'll try not to make loud noises. A little laid back, relax. Can I get these guys down here? I think this will be good. If not, we can always fix it later. No big deal. But I do like the fact that these sleeve extensions are white. You guys notice that? I haven't seen this. This is a really cool thing, especially when you're dealing with a white case with a white bracket. It hides it a lot better than if it was like a black cable, Gives it just like a, it just blends in. Is that the best way to put it? Makes you want to get white zip ties. Do that clean little, yeah, man, I professionally sleeved everything.
I just like that. Just white, dude. So good.
So good. We're just so used to black cases, I guess. I don't know. I just get giggly on white cases, man. I don't know. I have a white case at home. I can't complain. I love it.
It's about time we started to see like different colored cases. Like, I know we messed around with the red core P3.
Yeah.
I'm hoping stuff in the future. That's awesome.
I'd like to see more of that stuff too. I mean, we did the red one. We even did like an NVIDIA. We did a couple of those NVIDIA edition ones too, where they were like the green NVIDIA, and we did like a couple like co-op SKUs with NVIDIA and stuff like that. I think like all the way back to like Core V51 and Core. There was a P5 that we did. But yeah, I mean, we've had we had the black, the white, we've had red, as far as the 3 colors of the P3. And then we had a green one at one point. But I think that one was a limited one and everything. I'd love to have seen blue. What about you guys? What particular case color besides black and white would you guys like to see? And would you want like everything matching? Like if we did a blue case, do you need a blue AIO with blue fans? Probably not. But it'd be really nice to put a white AIO in like an indigo blue type of case. I think something like that would be a really cool contrast. But then again, everybody's picked their color, right? A lot of times, I'll just change the color by changing the RGB, Thermal Mike. And that's fine too. Okay. We got this. I think I got this pretty much at the maximum. It's good enough for what we're going to be doing. Then we have our AIO and we got this. And then this guy is going to come right up over here, and then we'll have our little pump situation. Okay. And just be careful with this, make sure this doesn't fall down and mess up your fins. Your fins getting bent is not going to cause a leak. You know that, right? You guys know that the water's going through these. Well, I guess it's kind of hard to see. See those the flat lines? That's where the water's going through, the flat lines, not the wiggly stuff. So don't trip about those things. I guess, gosh, man, I see so many people trip about that.
No, it's a good thing you bring that up. Like, for those of us who don't know, like, what are those fins? Like, what do they do?
Well, you know, we've had, you know, and that's a good thing to bring up too, because this is one style radiator, you know, as far as the FPI or the fins per inch, as far as how many fins in a per inch section that we'd have on them. And then there's a specific, you know, what am I trying to think of? It's a specific specification. It's a specification for that as far as what the FPI is, or the fins per inch. I think it's like 17 or something like on standard. And then we actually we're coming out with our new CLD radiators, which are double fins and everything. And I've actually wanted to mess around with that a little bit and see what the hype is, because I've been seeing other people doing them, but I haven't really seen anybody do like a temperature comparison or like a Y. You know what I mean? It just looks like, it seems like a, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to dive into that and we'll have to see what's going on. So here is basically how the AIO is going to come. It's got Intel on here for stock. This guy is just going to slide off just like that. Okay. You see what I'm saying? This doesn't even, it's not even required to be screwed in. It's just bam. Real simple and easy. So since we're going to be using AMD, we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch our bracket up. Now, to mention on the bracket, it is rounded on one side, where like on the other side, it's flat. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but the rounded edge is going to be the edge that you're going to want on the top. So it gives it a kind of a clean look. I guess in a way it doesn't necessarily matter, but this is the way I like to do it. So this is the way I'm going to tell you to do it. And then, oh yeah. And then of course, wait, no. Of course I have to remember how to put this together.
I hope so. Please do.
Oh man, I forgot. No, I'm trying to think. Isn't with the way the pump stuff is here. There it goes. It was just like, it's got this, how do I explain this? There's like a little notch right here. It's like a little bump, like a little bump. You just gotta get past the bumps and you're good. And that's what kind of keeps it from sliding off. But yeah, oh, here we go. And then see, that's gonna lock and load right in there. You don't have to worry about it. And then I got the flat side down on the bottom, so I got the rounded side here on the top for how that's gonna go in with that. And then this is gonna have a nice little ARGB ring that's gonna light up there with the TT logo in the middle. And then of course it's copper cold plate on the bottom. And again, make sure you remove this plastic. You guys see this? It's plastic. Make sure you take this off. Please, please, for all CPU lives out there, take this guy off. But wait until you're ready. Just don't forget, right? And then we got some other components here for all that other stuff. These would be like our, oh, as I spilled them everywhere. Oh, great, I'm going to find the rest of those. But these are going to be like the short AIO radiator screws. So if I'm not mounting the radiator sandwiched in a bracket and I was just going to mount a traditional case, you get the short screws too, as well as the long screws for the fans. Let me put that over there. We got that. So now got our Intel bracket, had our Intel bracket. Make sure, here we go. Still working on this, guys. I'm still working on this, but I really hope it's helping. It gives you guys a little bit more as far as what we're going through with this and show you guys the details. I hope this helps somebody build one day. And just make sure you clear your panels there or your cables at the top. You don't want to smash those guys or do anything. And just make sure you're in on your notches on the bottom. And once you're in on your notches, I'll just kind of see right here. I can just kind of hold the one side, and then you lose your thumb screws. I mean, I'm just kidding. I have them right here. I knew exactly where they were. And then I'm just gonna not look and make sure this lines up. I'm gonna let go and make it so it could fall, because I like to, you know, make you guys panic. No, just kidding. I'll put these guys back in. So this is ideally gonna just kind of lock down the front radiator, and you got the cool little fan right here in the front. Looks pretty cool. And it blends in real nice. Look how nice that blends in there with the AIO and the fans and everything being white. Just gives that a nice little aesthetic look to it. So you guys can see more in the big picture, see? See how it kind of just blends in with the case, the bracket, whole 9 yards, and you got the nice little black accents here, you know, on this with the panels once we get them all back on. All right. So let's get our fan cables at least a little bit out of our way. And then all we got to really mess with is just our AIO. And for you guys just joining, thanks for catching the stream today with Thermaltake Live. We're going to be changing up our streams and going with a Wednesday next week. Next week is actually going to be Cyberpunk week. We're real excited for the game. And we have something special in store for you guys. I don't know if you guys saw the video we had on our distro case 350p, the one that I did the video for and I built. I actually had somebody hit me up that does glass work, and we worked with him to have those same bends that I did with the system in PETG redone in glass. So next week we're going to be transforming from PETG to glass with our little cyberpunkish styled 350p, and we're going to be doing some fun stuff with that. So that's going to be next week, and that's going to be on Wednesday. And we're going to have a giveaway there too. For you guys that are watching right now, we got a giveaway next week, next Wednesday. We'll have all the details for you. All that fun stuff's going to come out. You guys can enter to win. We actually have a couple of things coming up. So you guys that are in here are special. You guys get to hear about this. Stay tuned for that. We got some fun stuff coming up. Steve will be giving you guys the details on that once it is ready. So that's next week, starting next week. We got some, you guys are going to want to be around. You guys are going to want to hang out. You guys are going to see what we got going on. Right, Steve?
Trust.
We're going to be building some systems. We're going to be going to the future with Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to have some holiday cheer for you guys for just hanging out. Just hanging out. And just to mention, this is a no sub channel, so we're not requiring people to sub. We're just asking for a follow. Follows are free. If you guys are joining in, you like a little bit of the content, or you guys want to enter in for the giveaway or both and everything, give us a follow. Help us out. Let us know that you guys appreciate what we're trying to do, showing you guys different things if you're working on a Thermaltake product. Same with on YouTube and everything like that. You know, give us that like and subscribe on there, because we're going to have a lot of stuff going out for that. Oh, yes, we are.
And let's be honest, Mike, we could be doing other, menial work right now, but who doesn't love just sitting out, hanging out, chatting it with, chatting it up, getting to know, people who follow us, what type of content they like, helping make plans to deliver that content so that they can enjoy it as much as we do.
I think I showed Steve there a little bit. Sorry.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Oh, man. Okay. So I got a little bit of a mess I'm trying to clean up. Mostly because I want my AIO, just kind of tuck him out of the way, because we're going to want to have room to mount our motherboard in here now. And then we're going to want to situate these dudes, aka cables. Now, you know how I was talking about that little spot on the top earlier, where you had like room to be able to kind of tuck some stuff up and around? Well, we'll be showing a little bit of that, kind of help you guys out. I like that this is a true Type C, by the way. You get that Type C front panel off there. Just have to make sure you get a micro ATX motherboard that has Type C on it. Oh, this guy's he's a thick one. We don't want to stretch it, so let's just redo it. Okay. Get our case panel connections up here. We got our USB 3.0, we got our Node 2.0, and then we got our trusty Type C right there. Legit Type C. Nice advantage with a smaller case, because this is a limit. The cable length is, it's basically something that you have to deal with. It can't go longer, or it degrades the performance and everything. So we're going to have stuff like this. And see, the cool thing about a lot of this is all going to be kind of hidden. And then you're going to have all this kind of going down the side right here. You're going to have your 24 pin that's going to be going up from the power supply. So I just want to kind of keep everything, you know, just in a decent little bundle, I guess, down here, just so that I have it kind of prepared. You know, you tuck it away. I love this little side skirt guy right here. He's his little, just gives you a nice little ridge. You can just kind of tuck some cables away. Move that, so we're good there. And then, so this is going to be our bracket for our AIO. Now today we're going to be, this is the MSI mortarboard. Take a look. So this is a micro ATX motherboard. This is a B550 chipset. So this is one of the newer boards. And, you know, this is, you know, nice and convenient. This gives you some nice, great options with it. For the size, and I thought this fit real well for the build because it's got like a military kind of style on it, you know, with the mortar series. It's got this nice, like, kind of like the gray color, and this is going to go real well with our RTX 3070. Now this is the Vision card from Gigabyte. Look at this guy with the white and the silver. So I thought this would go real neat, you know, kind of give you guys a nice little clean little idea. These are some hot little cards right here. I like it when they've done like a white series card, give you that different look. They got the motherboards too as well. But I'm trying to think. I think they have a micro ATX version in the works. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they definitely got an ATX one. All right. So in order to do the AIO, in order to do the AIO, you know, you usually have to change out the backplate. So that's what we're going to do first. That way we don't have to worry about doing this while the motherboard is installed on the case, because that becomes a little bit more of a pain. But yeah, you guys got any questions so far? Let me know. Other than that, just hang out and we're building. Always save this stuff. So you guys going to be using these and everything for, oh, wait, no. Yeah. Taking my back plate off. And I'll just take my back plate. Oh, I'll put my guys back on here. Somehow, some way.
Tell him.
Dude. Okay. How you doing today, Steve? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I'm doing all right. Just still kind of reeling from last night's game of zombies. Triggered, by the way. We're so close. Close.
He's right. I was there. It was a lot of fun, though. Hey, at least the game didn't crash.
That's true. That's true.
There's a positive.
Positive. But yeah, overall, just taking the day easy. Watch what illustrious work you do on my new gaming PC. See, you're taking very good care of it. Thank you.
We are. Your new gaming PC. We're taking the best of care of it, Steve.
I like that.
I'm just kidding. Okay. We build Steve like a PC every week. The guy has so many computers at home. All he does is say that he needs them, but every single one of these computers he gets to take home, and he just keeps complaining for more.
I mean, yeah, I need them all to be able to run like Modern Warfare and Black Ops. I need them all.
I need it all. Okay. All right. That says Intel. What? Wait. That says AMD.
Intel?
That says AMD. That says Intel. But I thought the Intel would say on Intel on here, or it says AMD on here, because we know this is AMD. Here, and that's Intel. I don't know. I'm just weird.
I'm confused.
No, it's just the way the printing was that's on here. It's almost like it makes me feel like I got to put it on the backside. Like I got to flip it around for one way versus the other. I don't know. I'm just being weird about it. Okay. Yeah, I'm totally like backwards on. Okay, here we go. And then these got like a little, you know, they got like the little step lock. So when it goes in, it's, you know, it's like got a flat edge. So this can't rotate. Okay, and get those kind of seated in there like that.
Seat with confidence.
At least this is why they have the sticky pad thing, because then you would stick this to the back of the motherboard and then the bracket would be stuck there. Then once you have the bracket stuck there, you know, you don't gotta worry. But what I want to do, because it's a show, because this is a live stream and I got to take this back apart, I don't want to stick the sticker. Oh, I don't think I have these. Let me see. Are we doing inside? Oh, I had these on. These got to be on the outside.
That's another one for the tally.
No. I don't know what you're talking about. No, but I think this is a cool little trick, dude. Because, like, this allows me to... I can just kind of set it up like this, use the table. As long as I just line these guys up and just push it down. And there now, I don't need to use a sticker, dude. Oh, whoops. Oh, I have this... Okay.
And that's 6.
It's great. No, but I still think this is a... Oh. There we go. Drop that. Oh, look, it works now.
Not there.
Almost. Okay. Now I'm trying to remember how to put this together without a manual. So then I have... Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. They give you... I got an extra one there. We have those 4, and then I got the AIO. That's going to go on with that. This is going to be 2011. So this is an extra. It's just different socket. Intel. I'm trying to think if I have to... You know what? Honestly, I'd have to look at this. I've never actually installed this. This is fun. Put these little push tab dudes on here. And then these just are just retention. So what they're doing is they're just keeping the bolt from like falling out.
Just as a disclaimer, because Mike did say to, you know, not read the manual. Please, for the love of all that is good, read the manual.
It's important. It's online. Quick, let's take a short pause to... Where is the manual? Oh, no, I don't have it. It's fine. We're good. Okay, and I put these little dudes on here. So these are going to be for our gapping. Oh, we got to make this guy, I don't think is seated. Make sure he's... I didn't have this little half moon dude on the right side. Not gonna lie, it's the first time I've put this together. Kind of fun. I was excited to, like, you know. Okay. So I'm gonna have that there with that. Here's gonna be my 4 screws that are gonna go after I put my pump on, and then these guys are just gonna go over the top. I like this because it's kind of like an AI, you know, just like doing a CPU water block. Okay. Don't want the card to get damaged, so I got all that right there. Let's go ahead and do this. So, you know, of course, we're gonna do a white build. We need to have some Snow Edition Tough RAM. So we got our Tough RAM RGB right here that we're going to be throwing in on the system. So we got those. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to pre-install this on 2 and 4. And I like, yeah, these are like, get that cool little, oh baby, oh.
ASMR. Yes.
And if it's anything to help you guys out when you're doing this kind of stuff, wait, hold on, one more.
Do it.
Oh,
Oh.
you guys love this stuff, right? But no, what I like about the memories, when you look at how the memory is, of course, this is, you know, offset to this one side. This always goes in the bottom. Unless, of course, you're doing like X299, X399, stuff like that. Other than that, you don't even have to really think about it. You just have to know. Heed these words. Goes on the bottom. Makes it easy. Okay. And there we go. There's our cool little micro ATX B550 board we're going to put in here. All right. Got our screws. Okay, so now we're going to get our, because it's micro ATX, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is where we get to do the fun. Now, speaking of screw sizes, because we've been talking about this a lot today. So then you have your standoffs that are going to be here in the case. There we go. Because we're not going so far top down again. So we have our standoffs that are going to be in the case. And, you know, which one does it work with? Well, usually when you're dealing with the screws, you're going to be looking at, this is like basically like it's got a rounded head to it and it has a fine screw. And I'll just kind of test fit it. If it just like this one goes all the way in, comes all the way out, this is not the screw for that one. So that's an easy way to kind of check without having to check, I guess, because I know how you guys are, you know, as far as what goes where and all that stuff. And then you'll find out using this screw that you'll be like, oh, okay. This is just like more of a thicker flathead screw. I actually really like these. We've been using these on some of our newer cases and everything. And then of course you're gonna see in here, we got some fan screws. So those 4 fan screws, these 4 fan screws, we'll put these to the side. So these will be for our 2 fans that we'll have. They're gonna go on the top part here of the case. And then we got little standoff thing. So if our standoff is loose, this is just a little adapter. They'll go on the standoff and then it just converts it to Phillips so you can tighten it. So you can make sure you're like if the standoff's kind of loose or it's spinning off. So, you know, if you had to take the motherboard off, it's, you know, not gonna be a problem. So yeah, other than that, get some extra standoffs here in the box as well. And then we're just gonna round up 7 of these guys that are all the same. Okay. Kind of corral those over there. Now, a lot of people can do this a lot of different ways, man. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can mount stuff. A lot of people lay the case down flat. Something like a case like this might not necessarily be the best scenario because of the fact that it's not flat on the back, because it's like a mini helicopter and all that fun stuff. So we're just gonna kind of do like a little simple mock-up, see where everything's gonna kind of go. You guys can get like an idea here as far as how that's gonna go inside. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna carefully set this down, kind of go like chill. We'll preload our screwdriver. So our screwdriver's preloaded. Set that there. And I'll just take my mortar. Whoop. I'm screwing this all up, aren't I?
That's 6.
Nope, it didn't happen though. I didn't drop it. It's still there. Come on, Steve. Don't be so hard on me. And then this is always the magic spot, just right here in the middle. You get this one in and you're done. Look at that. Bam. All right, we're good. It's in. No, I'm kidding. I usually like to do the middle one because it just kind of holds it in there. And then once I get that one in, then I can You know, I can put the other ones in here on the top. This one is being really stubborn. Okay. Just be careful of your AIO hoses. Don't scratch those bad boys, you know what I mean? Questions? You guys have questions? Steve, questions?
So they're telling you to hold the motherboard back by the CPU mount.
Well, you could hold it back here by the CPU mount, but I can just, I mean, I just put the one screw in, I just kind of hold. Well, it's, oh, you guys couldn't really see though, I guess. But I'm just kind of holding, see where the IO panel is? Kind of pinching it right there. Works. My little lazy Susan here needs a break. Some of these guys in the upper corners, you know, they're not like perfectly lined up, like, you know, the screwdrivers. You know, it's real close. It's right there on the top. And the one thing I'm already thinking about that I'm going to mention here too is the EPS is not going to fit in here. So you're going to actually have to run the EPS up and around this top part, and I'll show you guys. Okay, that lines up our last ones that we have. We got our AIO. Before we put our AIO in, make sure that guy's going to be seated all the way. And of course, I mean, one thing I didn't really want to spend the time on, but if you were going to do an M.2, you'd have an option for Gen 4 M.2, thanks to the B550 chipset. And I could just take this cover plate off and, you know, put my favorite Seagate M.2 in there and get that laid out. And then I got my PCI Express 16. I got another M.2 slot. But you have to consider that with this being micro ATX, I mean, that's more on the motherboard side, but just make sure you check your lanes. You know, if you're going to be doing two SSD or two M.2s with a graphics card, it could degrade the performance from 16 to 8 because it's going to be splitting that 4 on the PCI Express lane. So just make sure you read the details on all that if you're going to be doing two M.2s with one big card. That's just my little, like, help you out kind of sitch. All right. So then the AIO pump's going to go up on here. We're going to have that plumbed up and we get that in. Graphic card's going to go in here next. Well, not next, but we'll then put the graphics card in. Let's go ahead and get these fans taken. Get these fans on the top done. Now, these are the same ARGB fans family, but they are the duos. So they have 2 rings instead of 1 on the inside. So you actually get 2 separate illuminations, and yeah, you can mix and match. I'm just putting these in here because they were white, and they were the newer ones that we had. So now see, with the way I'm going to lay out the fans and how I have them put in here. So my front fans are going like this. So with my front fans going like this, I'm going to want to lay the fan down like that in that same type of orientation with my cable on the back side so I can drape it over and be able to run it like that. But one thing that I want to do before I actually do that, which I forgot. Oh yeah, and you look at this. You ever just see? Put the little arrows on here to show you the travel, the airflow and everything. You know, as far as how you're seeing how everything's going to go. So the air is actually going to go down. So what we're going to do with this to keep that same, because it's like what? It's like that. We're going to be putting that, it's going to go here. So that way this is going to be sucking air up and out, not down and in. But the one key element with this that I almost forgot was the EPS. So let's go back over to our power supply. I'll take our little screws out for our power supply.
I thought this was hilarious in case you wanted to know. Compass Rose Twitch says that they're going to change their name to their first name to Paste. and they're gonna try to join the Thermaltake.
Oh, that's crazy.
Get it?
Yeah. It reminds me of Ron Artest and how he changed his name to World Peace, Meta World Peace, so it'd say World Peace on his jersey.
That's hilarious.
Now, of course, I gotta run both the cables through, move my AIO just a little bit out of the way. And I'm just gonna pull this through so it's not on this side and it's out of my working area. And then same with the EPS. Now the EPS, I'm gonna wanna run this one first. I'm just gonna, let's see. We have that sneaked around the right way? Let me see. Nope. That way I can run that around that side. And like I said in the beginning, a lot of this stuff where I'm going to have these cables wrapped around and over are all going to be covered by that top panel. And I'm just using the second one that's on this particular power supply, because some will have just like a single one. I'm just running that second one there just to get the extra length, just so I can just kind of tuck this down, run it down. You guys can see, just kind of run it down along the side, down there where I'm going to run all my other stuff. But ideally, the one thing that's important is that I get this in here. Let me see, I got that like that, yep. And then get that fan on the top with that cable, because there's no way you're gonna get that in there unless you do it this way. Well, I mean, maybe there might be a way, but you're not gonna like it. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and get the rest. Now these are static mounts. It's not slotted on the top. I think you guys have seen that enough here with the way the case is set up. I'll just go ahead and get this guy locked in. Okay. And number 2. I just need to turn it. I can't even see. I'm so used to them being like right next to each other, but they have like a little gap on it because of where it is. Because it's actually, you could do 140s as well as 120s. It's not just 120 only on the top. Oh, okay. Bum, 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 bum. Get these guys put in here. All right. Getting a little bit of spaghetti back here. We're making some pasta.
I like pasta.
Me too. Oh, now I'm hungry. Sorry, Steve. I know, right? Thanks. But again, consider that this is all going to be hidden. This is all going to be hidden. So if you want to zip tie and kind of do something like this, and then you just want to bring it down, as you guys can see. So you want to bring it down right here. That cover panel is going to cover all this side. So you can utilize this to kind of hide some extra cables. So you're not bunching up and just pulling everything down and having more down here versus up there, if that helps. Take a couple of these fun little zip ties that are in here. Just a couple. It's kind of, it's different. Like when you're building with this, you're like, dude, that's gonna be, but then when you go to put like the cover on and everything, it's gonna be different. So we'll just have something like that. just to kind of hold a little bit of our sanity on the cabling stuff. Sorry, trying not to run my cable over. Okay, then I'm gonna have something like that that's gonna go, and this is all gonna run down the side like this. And then of course I'm gonna have all my front panel connections that are all gonna have to go there, so we're not gonna, you know, make this all clean and tidy just yet. We're just getting it kind of organized. Tuck our 24 pin through there. .24 pin goes in like that. We got type C right below it. Then I'll kind of do like I'll loop it down and I'll loop it back up and around. And then what this will do is this will just kind of take up some of that extra length, so I'm not having to fold it a bunch of times. And then this apparently is like, okay. USB 3.0. That is going to be, oh, that's right, it's on the side. So I'm like, where did it go? I didn't see which way. His face right there. Oh, this is one of those ones where you got to kind of pinch it a little bit. And you just want to line up that little notch on the 3.0 because it's like a one-way, right? Let's get that situated so we don't do any damage to any of our stuff. Okay, here is our fans. Here's our Type C, our EPS 24 3.0. A lot of this stuff we're just going to kind of just hang out right here, so that way we just got a spot for it for now until we figure out where we're going to run everything else. So then our case panel connections. So as we look in here in the system, we look in here at the case, so we have a lot of our stuff down here. We got our USB. Oh, we got our USB 2.0s. Down here we have our case panel stuff set up. We even have our JRGB for our audio, or for our ARGB header, as well as you know, other system fan stuff, and then that fun little audio connector cable too, which is basically this dude. And then what we want to do is we want to see if that guy's going to come up over here. Gonna plug him in right here. Pull that. And see how you can kind of, I can snake a lot of this up behind that panel, and then I can bunch it up over on this side, so that I'm just kind of creating like a clean wall down the side here, and kind of leave this open so I don't have like cables going this way and that way and everything, and it just kind of cleans it up a little bit. And we got our front panel, and oh man, this front panel does not have, well, it does have a breakdown, but it's like super small, which is always the way it is, right? Power LED with hard drive below it, and then power switch. So LED switch, hard drive reset, pretty standard. Power LED, power switch, then hard drive below that, and reset next to it. I do have to give props to Gigabyte for their little breaker thing they have, where you can just kind of clip it in and it just plugs it all in. Did a good job with that. Hopefully they didn't patent it, so nobody else can do it. That's what it seems like it's going nowadays with a lot of stuff. Okay, and then I'll have my fan cables. And my fan cables will route down in here. We'll just kind of tuck them behind our little wing. And we'll have those guys ready. Because then what we're going to do is those are all going to get linked up. We'll have our fans that we'll have to hook up and do our cable management. But let's get the rest of this stuff put together. Okay, so standard AIO situation, right? You're going to have your pump, your tubes. You got your 1 power cable that's going to be right here for the pump power. And then this other white cable is the ARGB. So then this ARGB cable is going to sync up with everything else and then tie into the motherboard. And then of course we're going to need some thermal paste. So we have our TG7. Hopefully I got some left in here. I think I do. I'm kind of an X pattern. You can call me an X-Men if you want. It doesn't matter. That's what I like to do.
That's an interesting question. If you could be an X-Men, which one would you be?
Oh, that's a
tough one.
That's a tough one. I'll have to think about that. We've been playing so many zombies and everything like that. I almost want to say Juggernaut.
There's a meme for that.
Right. Now you can kind of look at the tubes and figure out what's going to work best for you and how everything's going to get kind of laid out. I'm going to just go with something like this. I'm going to get my pump seated on here. And then I got my tubes on the side so that I can pull those down. And then what we're just going to do, without me trying to get this little thing to rotate too much, so I can at least put pressure on this. Yeah, this is fun. Got the one in. But I do like a lot how this mounts into the case like you would mount like a DIY LCS block. These are some heavy little torsion screws. Like it. Okay, we just go ahead and get all 4 of these in. I like to get them all started and then I come back and torque them down. A lot of people have their own little ways to do it. I like to use drills a lot for removing this, but not as much for securing it. And then I'll just kind of, you know, the pump itself, just make sure everything feels seated. Did nobody say it? Because I did it on purpose. Nobody said anything. Okay.
Tell them.
I was totally trying to do this because I wanted to see if I'd get a reaction out of you guys. I didn't get nothing. What did I forget to do?
I'm going to vote with Get Good.
Got him. Got him. Got him. Oh man, no, this is funny. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not even going to tell Steve. I'm just going to nonchalantly do this and see if somebody, I wasn't trying to trigger somebody, but I wanted to see if somebody realized I didn't take off the plastic on the bottom of the CPU cooler. I sacrificed thermal paste just for laughs. And you guys let me down.
Somebody called it just as you were saying.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're the best. I thought that was funny. I was like, man, should I go that far? And then nobody was saying anything, right? And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I want to see if somebody says something. But either way, look, you can take a look. Here, let's take a look at that paste action right there, right? Look at that. Not too bad. See? Oh, look, this is how you clean the thermal paste off of your CPU socket. Oh man, I was totally trying to get you guys, but I couldn't get you guys. Oh man, that was funny. Okay. Normally I'd clean this off, but I know we'll be fine. If you guys don't think it'll be fine, then you need to build more PCs.
Never build enough PCs.
Well, I've been trying my whole life, but yeah, it's hard. I gotta get good, right? All right.
Build more.
A little bit more.
You also got a compliment on the little nano leaf you have in the back.
Oh yeah. You know, we actually have a nanoleaf tool for our TTRGB Plus, but I have not been able to get around to setting it up and syncing it with like my system to show it on the stream. But I'm planning to do something with that. I want to go back into more of our RGB stuff, but I have something. You just wait till next year. And when I say next year, I don't mean like end of next year, the beginning of next year. Just wait.
Just sit tight.
It's like there's some things that like I want to do, but then I know the fun things that are going to happen. So I'm trying to plan it out right for you guys. But yeah, make sure you remove your little plastic thing. I thought I was going to get you guys, but whoever called it out and said that I didn't, thank you for paying attention.
That was Chantelet. Shout outs.
Whoop, the best. Yeah, so I'm just trying not to stab the motherboard with a screwdriver. That's important. Make sure. Oh, me. I guess it's kind of the way the case orientation is, at least. Let me see if I angle this like that. You guys can kind of see a little bit better. Look at that. It's like I'm just diving into this case. Look at from the other camera angle. I'm just like, you know. And then we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna tighten these. I'm not gonna crank them all down right off the bat. I'm gonna just secure 1 and 2, 3 and 4, just enough so I get a nice even seat on it. And then I'm gonna go back on the last one and make sure I get it nice and tight. You want to make sure you get a nice flat contact with a cold plate to your beautiful CPU. And we got our tubes that are going to be right there. We have a dedicated CPU fan pump. That guy's going to go right in here. And then we'll take I'm assuming we're going to take this cable. Let's see, we got the other one to mess with too. All right. I don't really want this in my way too much. And I want it to kind of, yeah, pull it up and snake it around the side where my EPS is. I can just kind of hide that right there. And I love this ARGB, dude, because it's so small. I'm just gonna ninja that through here. And I could probably smash it in there a little bit more and get it like kind of flush. But that'll be like some like the final stuff that'll do. Then I can just have this guy. I like how this is a nice long cable. Run that over, down, and around. And it can sit right there with all the other guys. Okay. There's our AIO. We got our pump installed. Our pump's plugged in. 24-pin EPS. We have all that stuff going there. We still got our cable ties and our cable management to mess with. Oh. Get the power supply. I didn't actually secure that guy all the way down. All right. Oh, and then I had some other cables. Now, of course, if you're going to need Molex for something like an HDD or, you know, any of your other devices that's going to need Molex, you can add those. But since we don't have Molex and we're just kind of keep this clean and easy, we're just going to go with our PCI Express. But then you would have, of course, different cable options for what you're going to do and how they're going to go. And I'm going to kind of just hang this out right here. I would say something like this, if it was me and I was going forward with a case like this, I'd probably look into making like my own power cover to give myself like a nice little power cover that's going to go down over like on that. But you know, it really is all kind of up to you as far as what you're going to do, what you're going to want. And then we got our nice, beautiful, this is our nice, beautiful vision card. Take a look at that. We got this guy. He's going to go in here. We'll pull off our little protector early because we want to size this up. Yep.
Hey, careful with my card, Mike.
I'm sorry, Steve. I'll make sure to protect your property.
That's all I ask.
Right. No, I think it builds, you know, it's going pretty good. I mean, what have we been doing? Yeah, a couple hours. We haven't been talking a lot, you know, but nice laid back little build. You know, something fun for the weekend. You know, you just want to change some stuff out in the case. So I'm going to take off both of those brackets for my wonderful graphic card install. Watch these little dudes. So they have like the little, what did you see? Like, you know, the little plastic covers. I like how they're doing these little plastic covers now, like on the graphic cards and everything, but they get stuck in those expansion slot things sometimes.
Really wish I could buy some of those like separately for when I have to store components. Just like, you get a cover, you get a cover, you get a cover.
Right? I mean, luckily working here, we have like a ton of them. You know, for DisplayPort, HDMI, whatever. Even these cool little, like, these little covers that we have, that they have, you know, for like the gold fingers. Those things are nice to keep around for like, if you got your cards and you're setting them up, you don't want those gold fingers damaged, you know? Now, a lot of times with some of the cards that are out there in the market, they're going to have like a little retention bracket that's going to like go right underneath the card. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of call that out if it's something you're looking to do. There's a lot of companies that sell these as like little side accessories, like throw RGB on them and everything. But what I want to mention today is that when you're looking, when you're looking at the card and we're looking at what we got going on in here, take a look at that. That this card, you're not going to have too many problems with it as far as like it maybe has like a little bit of sag, but it doesn't have too much. And look how clean that looks in there with the white. You got the cables, the card, and everything just kind of matches up and everything like that. All right. Let me go up here. Okay. So say, for example, you have a power supply and your power supply has these red connections on it. And these little fun little red connections, you know, are just the spoiler of your day with like something that you're going to try to do a monochrome type of build like this. I mean, look at everything else. Everything else is black and white and it looks legit, right? Think of you know, maybe grabbing a sleeve extension or something. So, I mean, ideally, and I've used this set before, but we have our TT Mod sleeve cables. Now, these guys are great for being able to add in a nice little freshed up look to give you that nice little clean appearance that you're going to want, like something like this. This is going to be your 8-pin PCI Express. This is going to be my EPS cable. So I'd have the EPS 24, and then you'd get, I think, 2 8s and 2 6s out of the bunch with that. And this would give you a nice little cleanup with this. The thing with this one is that, you know, I have 2 8s here. I didn't think about the 3070 is an 8 and a 6. So my bad on making sure I didn't get the right thing. But, you know, to kind of show you guys some differences, right? You can get a nice sleeve extension cable. This is going to give you a little bit of extra room so you can tuck and hide those red connectors or whatever connectors you would have out of the way. And it's going to give you a nice professional sleeved type of look to it versus dealing with like a stock, you know, type of cable scenario. So you get those nice little, and then you could run those down and do them nice little parallel. They come with cable combs and it just really kind of cleans it up. You know what I mean? It just really kind of cleans it up. It's not something I would say you have to use. They are extensions, so they work with any PS2 power supply or ATX power supply. I mean, it's not like a pinout thing or anything weird. It's just an extension. And it cleans up the cables real nice, and it gives you a nice, you know, professional type of look on, you know, something like that, where you'd not necessarily want to do it, or say like in the, you know, in the past, you would want to either say like re-sleeve these, or even look for replacement connectors. Like you would get to replace these red connectors, I would get black ones, depin, repin it. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do with that, but those sleeve cables really give a nice look to it, and you can get a nice little setup with that. I mean, I could throw like a little zip tie in here and kind of just clean that up. Actually, you know, I'm gonna do it because it's gonna bug me. Oh.
Here's an interesting question for you, Mike, from our friend Adrian on Twitch.
Oh, what's up, man?
Are we getting any 200 millimeter quad ring fans, ring quads 200 millimeter in the future?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I was thinking.
It was something that we talked, like individual 200 millimeter quads, right? The thing with that is that I think it's something we want to do, but I think with that situation, at least, it's an LED power thing with how many LEDs that would be in there, because it's the same kind of situation with the quad fans and how many LEDs that they have. And it's not about like, you know, how many LEDs light up. It's about how many individual LEDs have an input and output, or a DIDO. And it's what, 48 LEDs on one 120 mil fan for a quad fan. And you compare that to like, what is it? The Trio 200's only like 24. No, I think it's more than that, 36. But then that's in a 200 mil option. So I think a lot of it is just LED and power, and trying to make sure that everything's going to fit for that. Because I'd love to see like a 200 mil quad fan, but I would think that a lot of that, the power for the LED is going to have to be separate from the power for the fan, because you can only get so much out of a 12 volt. And it's really getting, I mean, those quad fans are really bright. There's a lot of LEDs, and I don't really know if we're going to be able to go much further with that unless we change our power solution. And that would mean like we would have to deal with more than one Molex. At least from what I've seen from, you know, voltmetering and, you know, testing like, I don't know, 20, 30 quad fans at once.
Challenges, dude.
Well, we mess with a lot of that stuff, you know, and we try to make sure that, you know, if it says that, then, you know, we have to make sure it does it. And then if it doesn't, we have to look at what we got to do to, you know, correct some things before we launch the product or whatever and all that. I mean, we've done a lot of optimization on the software. I mean, everybody complains about everybody's software online. I mean, they just can't have enough of that. But there's been so much innovation with RGB software and now ARGB software. I really like how a lot of that's going. And I can't wait to see, you know that whole saying, I can't wait to see what we do next. But it's kind of true, you know?
We must go deeper for science.
For
RGB.
For RGB. Okay. So then I would have my fan cables. So these would be the fan powers, right? This is going to be just my LED. So we'll use the white one as our last one. So that way that connector, well, it's going to be going to a black wire anyway, but so then that way we have the 1, 2, 3, and then we'd have our other fans pull out right here. Get that situated a little bit better for you guys. Okay. So that I can just kind of, here's my RGB. RGB. Just sleeve them a little bit like that. Bring those around. That's my other power. So I keep my power together. Take the shorter of the two. Watch these little connectors, guys. Like I said in the RGB video, be gentle. So then I can basically daisy chain all of these together. Then all of these particular fans, I can run the cable. I'm likely going to probably run the cables down underneath like this, run everything up and over so that I have all the cables going that way. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it back the other way. You know, just kind of notch this all up. And then I believe, I don't want to mess with these cables too. So let me just make sure they're good. And then I'm going to come over here. So then on the card, or on the card, on the motherboard, I'm going to be looking for my JRGB header, which is going to be right here. So that's going to be located right here down inside the case. And that's where I'm going to connect up that, what is it, like E cable? And then I'd be plugging my E cable in there for my ARGB. And then that's going to be then controlled by the motherboard software once I get my OS installed, because MSI has their Mystic Light. And their Mystic Light software is supported by our TT ARGB Plus products. And with that being supported by our TT ARGB Plus, you can kind of set it up and then go in there with the software and control the fan color. So that's going to give you not just the fan in the front, the two fans in the front off the radiator, but you'll also get control of the pump. You'll get control of the Tough Ram RGB at the same time. And then, of course, the two fans that go across the top. Now, let me see if I can do this the best I can by saving time, because I would sit here probably for a good little bit going through a lot of these cables to kind of line them all up. I'd use my 24 pin as a nice little cover where I can overlap that larger, thicker ribbon cable and just kind of brings a lot of stuff together, and then be able to kind of tie all this in and then be able to, you know, kind of like tie in a lot of this stuff. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to take off my little side, take these guys off. Let's go ahead, take our little screws off for our front little welding helmet. I love this little welding helmet. It's so much cool. It's so cool. RGB is life. Steve is right. This is the way.
Is the way.
Okay. So then here we go with, you know, what we're going to do. So these right here, remember, these two screws are going to be the screws for the radiator bracket. And then this is going to be our little helmet that's going to go back on. Now this, you're going to want to kind of set this on here. And then I just put, you see, I don't know if you guys can see, put my hands on the back where I kind of brace it and just push it down. It's going to just give it a nice little pop, and it's going to seat right in there. Okay. Then once I have that seated, I will just put the screws back in. And just remember that these are just like small little screws. Don't go too crazy on torquing these down. It's not going to matter. It is not going to matter. Is everything good, Steve?
Everything is solid. I love what you've done with the build. It's crispy. I like it.
Extra crispy?
Just I like it.
We need to stop talking about food on the stream. At least I got to eat before, you know? What time would you guys like? Is this a good time starting at 1 o'clock? You guys joining in, we're at like what? It's about 3 o'clock our time right now. And everything, is this a decent time? Should we go later? Should we go sooner? Because we're looking at doing different time slots for next week and trying to fit out what's good. You guys are the ones that are watching, so what do you guys like? This is a decent time, we'll stick with this. But yeah, just a nice little friendly reminder and everything. We'll be switching over to Wednesdays next week. And we're kind of also, me and Steve are evaluating a time as far as like a good time slot to make sure this makes sense for a lot of what people are looking for time-wise on this.
I genuinely enjoy talking with all of you guys. So like, you know, if 1 o'clock works for you, if you want it earlier, if you want it later, drop us a line on Discord. If you guys haven't, you know, checked us out on Discord, come hang out with us. Mike and I are lonely.
We are lonely. Steve is not wrong. Make sure that guy's just... Had to do the crossover there. But you guys kind of see what I mean? How it kind of covered up a lot of that was up there. And then it kind of cleans me up for just being able to run a nice little bunch down the side. And then I can zip tie and secure all this down the side here, down and through the bottom. And then the only thing that I have to worry about connecting up is going to be my power for my fans and that JRGB header that's in the bottom corner there on the motherboard. Not going to spend too much time on the cable stuff. I'm just going to kind of clean it up so it's like at least out of my way. But I think a lot of you guys get the gist of this. If cable management is something you guys would like to see, I can definitely go through a good amount of time showing you some cable management tricks in certain cases, especially when dealing with a large amount of RGB. When we go through some of these builds that we do for video work and everything, if it's like, say for example, like the Core P8 that we recently did, that thing fits 18 fans. We put 17 in there because we were doing the DP D5 distro. And with a lot of that, you are dealing with a lot of cables and a lot of connections. And the more you look at it, it gets, you know, it can get scary, right? A lot of this stuff can get, you know, kind of worry you about where everything's going to go. How are you going to fit it all? Or I need a power cover to jam it all underneath there. You know, take your time with that. But yeah, if it would be something that would be interested to you guys, we can definitely consider, you know, something like that for the stream.
I personally think that'd be a great idea because let's be honest, how much RGB is enough? It's never enough.
It's never enough, but it all depends on what your case is going to fit too, just the same. So I see it's like I could run this wire down one way versus the other, kind of looking at different header options. So I got 3 up here on the top. So then with my case, for like, say like these 2 black ones, I have 2 connections that are going to be right here on the inside. This is going to go underneath those 24 pin cable. These are going to come out. I mean, of course you can cut off. You can cut off these little white little tab things if you'd like. A Type-C dude came out. Be careful. And I mean, yeah, I probably would have left the hood off, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys what it would look like, you know, with the hood on and how this helps to cover that cable management. So you're really only looking at a bundle right here and a lot of this is exposed because ideally this is just a glass little side panel. I'm gonna have that one there. This one would then kind of rope it down. Where'd that guy go? Oh, it was up top. And I mean, you have a lot of options. If you want to do like a fan controller and you want to have them all plugged into one fan controller that goes to one PWM cable, you got options like that. I've shown like our Commander FP, which is like a fan header thing, which is like a 10-port fan header. But I mean, when you're dealing with, I mean, what, we got 4 fans. It's really not too bad to be able to kind of get everything kind of set up with this. And then, let me see, I think the other guy, he's in that top left corner. So then I'll look at this. Kind of sneak him up along the side with my other white cable that I have, because I would tuck these back behind the black cables, even though like it's something you'd want to show. That way I'd have this set up. Hold on. Looking for my cable's going to come out right here. I'm going to have my cable right here, and then I can go ahead and plug it into this last header. But yeah, I probably should have taken the top off, but again, like I said, I wanted to show you guys it's not that big of a deal in my way. And then, I mean, you could go in and you could present yourself and do what you wanted to do, you know, like with your cable management, right? As far as like how you'd want to kind of clean this area up going down and how everything just kind of bunches over. As far as right here, I can push this down. I got this nice little side skirt that I can use. I could do long runs of cables all the way down, go all the way back, zip tie them together. They'll stay down in that little area, and then I can just kind of run everything all up one side and everything. Sleeve cable extensions might be a little too long, where you're going to be dealing with a lot of extra cables. So kind of keep that in mind as far as just a little bit of feedback for me on like a case like this. Larger case like the T200, it's awesome because then it gives you all the room in the world that you would need for like your EPS, graphic card, stuff like that, and you get the nice clean look with it too. But then again, it's an extra expense, right? So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to go with, you know, as far as something like that. And then we'll go ahead and say we take off. So these are our big thumb screws for our two little windows. So let's take a look at those. And then here's our little window wings. Wrong side. The screws go on the inside. The screw heads that you would see go on the inside. Makes a difference. I mean, look, I'm not smashing it down. I'm not smashing it down, you know. It's good. See? Definitely has some fingerprints on it that I know a lot of you people would love to clean, because I know that bugs me too, but should have put these on with white gloves, shouldn't I? Hit the panel. There you go. That way we can lock the panel in. We have the panel locked in like that. You got your nice sleeved cables. It's kind of out of the way. It's got a little bit of tint to it, which in my opinion gives it just a nice little look. It gives it that little, you know, that stealthy kind of look that you would see with it.
Now the big question is, will it post?
You know, well, we're not going to really be able to see if it posts, to be honest, because we're not hooking it up to a monitor. Sorry. But, whoa. Okay. We have initiated the power, I think.
And the engines are on.
Wait. There we go. I think you can see the gigabyte lit up right there. And then a lot of this stuff, I mean, it's the first initial boot. So a lot of it, I'm going to get, you know, the RGB from the memory. I'm wondering if it's actually, because see, I don't have an OS on here. So this is ideally popping up, giving me a keyboard error at this moment because I don't have a mouse and keyboard plugged in. If you guys built systems before, you would know that that thing's going to flag and, you know, not make my day. But either way, because I was hoping that it would light up, but I would have to, I guess, dang, I don't really have something left over. But either way, I have the fan, you know, everything's set up. The fans are spinning, but the lights are going to be off. And the reason why the lights are off is because it would need to be plugged in to the header off the motherboard. And I don't have that cable here. Actually, hold on. Hey, Steve-O, can you hand me that box right there? The TH240 box. It's like bugging me. I want to like plug it in. But either way, this is it. The AHT200. AIO concept build, start to finish. Couple hours talking and everything like that. Fun little build deal with over the weekend, you know, or whatever you're going to be doing. Yeah, that guy. I think if there was another cable in there. Thank you, sir. There's the Steve. He's so nice. Oh, yeah, no, I must have had it. I must have took it out when I was doing the testing on it and everything. This is our nice new box for it, though. I'm really digging it. This is our new TH240 AIO cooler. This is our new AHT200 chassis. And you can see just getting that all nice white build in here. Giving a nice, great look to what it would be. The fans and everything would light up once I would plug in the ARGB sync cable from the fans that we daisy chained together and plug that in, and everything would be lit up for that. And then, of course, we got our new TH240 cooler going with our micro ATX motherboard. And then you guys can see that nice Vision RTX 3070 graphics card that we have installed in here on the build. So yeah, hope you guys like that. I hope you guys love the stream here today and everything like that. I think that's going to wrap it up for us on, you know, getting the case and everything here put together. And yeah, AHT200, baby. Nice white color. Comes in black as well. Unplug this so I don't rip the power cord out of the case and everything. But yeah, something like this, once I would have this set up, I would be going forward with, you know, going to my initial BIOS settings, setting my XMP for my tough RAM RGB, checking and making sure, you know, everything seems to be right, doing anything essential that I would need to do in the BIOS, and then going forward with installing Windows. Definitely take note, you got a nice Type-C connector here on the AIO for fast transfer rates. You tie that up with a nice M.2 Gen 4, because we're using the B550 chipset. You get some nice, great transfer speeds for if you're going to be, you know, taking your games from one system to another, or you just got all your backup stuff and everything. You do a nice fresh copy of Windows on there. A lot of that stuff comes in real handy. Windows installs, couple of minutes, and then you're good to go as far as setting your colors, as far as what you'd want to do with the system, getting all your colors and lights all set up, and then just making sure your temps are right and everything, because you made sure you took the plastic off of your CPU power cover, and you got a nice contact with good thermal paste on there, so that way you get some good heat dissipation, and, you know, and get some good cooling performance out of that. Nice 240 or 280 options work in the case, front mount only with that. Just to mention again, top options give you 120 and 140 fans through the top, and then again, it's a micro ATX motherboard, standard ATX power supply, so you don't got to worry about anything like that. And then you have just, you got a good amount of room. This is a 3070 that's in here. I fit 3090s in this case, and it's been close. And I mean, even with this, as far as how we have this set up, I have plenty of room to do a push-pull if you were going to ask that question as well. As far as, you know, the radiator in the front, being able to do not just a push-pull option for better airflow, but also getting a little bit more interior lighting options inside the case just the same. So that way you get that nice little glow here from the front going in through the back of the case. And of course, you got the fan that would light up there right in that nice little cockpit to give you a great little front and center kind of action. The new AHT200 Snow by Thermaltake. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. That's the case. Questions? Anybody have any questions in regards to the process of the build and everything like that? We appreciate you guys tuning in with this. While I wait for questions, if you guys have any, to talk a little bit again from what we were going on earlier in the stream, we're going to be moving to Wednesdays, and we're going to be likely streaming a little bit longer. So we're going to be doing a little bit longer of a stream on Wednesdays. Next week is going to be Cyberpunk week. So next week I have a special treat in store for you guys with our DistroCase 350p. We got a fun little like cyberpunk type of theme with it, and I have a special set of glass tubing that was mocked up from the PETG tubing that I did on the DistroCase 350p video that's on our YouTube channel right now. So if you guys want to check that out, we got that going. That's the full P3 case, has a giant distro plate on the back. We're going to be switching out the tubing, showing you guys the difference with that, filling it with some nice coolant, maybe setting some color in there too to give you guys some nice visuals. So stay tuned with that. We're going to have a giveaway as well going on next week to celebrate Cyberpunk because it's finally going to be here. And yeah, stay tuned for that and everything. Don't miss next week so you guys can get in on the giveaway. We got other holiday treats coming up in December as well. And then, not just for next week, but also later on in the month. So you guys make sure you guys stay tuned for more as far as what we're going to be doing, because I definitely want to give back for the holidays, and Thermaltake wants to give back for the holidays too, because we're planning, baby. We got some fun stuff planned, and Steve's excited to,
Super excited. I am ready.
set all that stuff up so you guys can click all the buttons to get all the entries and all the fun stuff. So make sure you guys hang around for that kind of stuff. We're going to be having a lot of fun with that. Happy holidays. Stay safe, be healthy and everything. And until next time, we'll see you guys on our new day next week on Wednesday here for Thermaltake Live. And we'll be here on both Twitch and on YouTube. Please help us out and give us a nice follow. Like and subscribe on our YouTube channel for all videos from Thermaltake USA, including our Thermaltake Live videos that we have in there. And until next, me and Steve say, bye-bye.
Good day.
I was waiting to see what he was going to say. You guys have a good one. We will check you later. Woo-woo.